So my dad, he had a pretty complicated disease process, but it progressed pretty rapidly, even though he was a controlled diabetic. And the palliative nurse practitioner called me and she said, I don't think that anybody's being honest with your dad about his disease progression. I don't think that anybody's telling him that this first amputation was not his last and that his pain is not going to get better and that he cannot go home. He is not safe to go home. Once we told my dad, this is actually what's going to happen. It's not going to get better. You cannot go home. He didn't want to. He didn't want to live like that, and he deserved that. He deserved the chance to make that decision for himself. And I actually look back on that and think it was very brave of him to decide that he had had enough and that he did not want that quality of life. You know, sometimes you don't know a lot, but you know what you can't do. I didn't know what to do, but I knew I couldn't take him home to die because I had a young son. It was too painful for me at that point. And so the palliative nurse practitioner suggested the hospice house. And at this time, I was a home health clinician. I've been a home health clinician for years. I had no idea my dad was even hospice appropriate, much less that he would qualify to go to the hospice house. He went to the hospice house on a Thursday afternoon about 4:30 or 5, and he died Friday about 1 o'clock. I don't know that they ever got him comfortable. I don't know that they ever gave him enough medication in that less than 24 hours to get him comfortable so that he could pass peacefully. I wish that hospice for us looked like more time with my dad. I wish we had chosen hospice sooner. I wish that we had understood, and I wish that we had had the opportunity to take advantage of all of the offerings and all of the ways that it can make things easier for the patient, but also for the family. I look back on the months immediately preceding his death, and I spent a lot of time with him doing wound care and dialysis and all of the things. I didn't actually spend any time with him. There was never a time that I was just talking or, watching TV with him or whatever it might be, because I always had to be the caregiver. And I wish that I could have just been his daughter. Learning to live in the world where your parents don't is just not something that's ever gonna get better. But that's not what haunts me to this day. The fact that he died in pain and that he deserved better. And I blamed myself for a really long time for not knowing better. And that's why I work at Interim, because we give patients that opportunity. We give them the education. We give them all of the opportunity to have a good hospice experience. There's not really a way to have a good death experience, but there is a way to let people die with dignity and with grace, and to where the people that are left behind are not this traumatized from it.